I made it worse. I made it worse. Let's see if I can. Oh. Hey everybody, how you doing out there? Great to see you guys. I was running a little bit late today, so I'm just in the setup mode. So I hope you guys are having a great day. Gosh, I've had a pretty good day. It was a beautiful day here in Los Angeles, surprisingly. And I think part of the reason I'm missing Eugene is because he is. Hey, John, great to see you. We have a show this Wednesday, so hey, Marilee, great to see you. So, anyways, I was thinking about what to cover today, and first off, of course, if you guys have any questions about anything you're working on, we can definitely cover that. But there was a few things I was going to talk to you guys about. I played a gig recently in Texas, and this whole process of playing the gig, setting up the gear, what's going through your head during the gig, all that seems like it's a pretty interesting subject. And one of the best ways I think to prepare to be a great musician is to sort of to run that scenario. Hey, Jim, great to see you. Is to run that scenario in your head. So it's like figuring out if you could make something playable. Greg, there he is, buddy. Great to see you, Greg. By the way, Greg, what's the weather like where you're at right now? I heard is it snowing like through a lot of the country right now? It's been snowing where a bunch of my friends live back east. So they said it's been kind of miserably snowing actually. So anyways, one of the best ways to do this I think is probably to record yourself. So I wanted to recommend everybody to keep with the recording. Keep up with the recording. Keep the recording going. And sometimes it can be really hard to record an entire piece. So sometimes you might start with something really simple and try to grab like a 61. Oh, 61's great. God, 61's nothing. Nada. So you might pick just a single pattern to record. So if you're working on, let's say you're working on Dust in the Wind. Even if you just work on the one single Travis picking pattern, I think that can always be a great one to go through. Do you run through the great checklist like the buff? John, I don't, but I feel like a Muppet. It's 40. You know, 40's, when I lived in New York, 40 was manageable. It depended on how windy it was, you know? It's all about the wind. If it's super windy, there is no manageability under any circumstances, ever. I remember thinking, why did they build this huge city here? So for gear checklist, yeah. So one big thing would be, it depends on if it's a fly out gig, but I just kind of know what to take. I have a guitar gig bag that has everything I need in it pretty much, including extra strings. In fact, when I've had stuff get stolen, I had a bag with a bunch of material get stolen in it, mics, everything. And those are the toughest bags to replace because you don't know what you need until you get to the gig. All the stuff you don't use all the time, those are the that screw you over because you go, oh yeah, I have Allen wrenches or I have blank, and those are in the bag that you stole from me, you heathens. Jim, freezing at the harbor. Yeah, so there you go. Yeah, I remember, God, unacceptable cold. So yeah, so anyway, other things that kind of help put me in the condition to be able to play a gig is like if it's one of these tribute shows, you have to know the music so well, and you have to know it just the way they play it. I basically end up just recording my parts because you don't know if you know a song until you can play through it without the song playing in the background, it's a lot. It's really a lot. Like imagine knowing a song so well that without the song playing in the background, you're playing it. That's when you can really play the song. Usually means you can sing and play it or mouth and play it if you don't sing. You've been writing a lot and focusing on rhythm guitar. Wow, that's great, Jim. What kind of stuff have you been focusing on rhythm guitar-wise? Like strumming or single note picking? That's good. That's very good. So one of the things, oh, you purchased 3 mics in 3 months. John's on a spending spree. Is that like sing mics or recording mics? Oh, finger stopping. Okay. Hopefully this isn't freezing for you guys. It's freezing for me. No, it's fine. Let me know if it starts freezing up, guys. Oh, boy. Okay. Well, hopefully it's not freezing for you guys. Mics for amps. Oh, very cool. Is anybody else doing any recording out there? Have you guys been doing any recording? Marilee, I think Eugene told me you were doing some recording of yourself a while back. John, I know you've done some recording before. Greg, I don't know if I'm not sure if you've ever been into recording or not. Which mics did you grab, Jim? So like, right now, this amp, I use this amp for the show a lot. Let's see if you can see this. If you can see that. It has a 57 on it. But I was using a Royer on it for a long time, and the Royer mic, it's a ribbon mic, but the only issue with it is you got to have a lot of like preamp behind it, basically, like a ton. So, all right, well, hey, we should probably go through some guitar playing. So, that's a topic I wanted to maybe just brush up on. If you guys have any questions about the gigging thing, I think that would be a great show topic with me and Eugene too. If we take a look at like what do we bring to the show, like what are we thinking about while we're playing a show. I was even thinking about like playing a video of some shots of us playing a gig and then going over it and saying, okay, what were you thinking about right there? I thought that might be kind of fun to do. So I think one of the best ways to sit down and just get yourself to play the guitar sometimes is to run after some scales. And the pentatonic scale in 5 positions, and we've done this a couple times, but it takes a lot of repetition. So if you can grab the first position and get it down. So if you got your guitar handy, I'd grab it. And then just work on the F minor pentatonic position. So that's 1, 4, and then 1, 3 for 3 strings. And then 1, 4 for 2 strings. So that's the first position. Most of you already know that for sure. So I'll do it one more time. So you have 1, 4, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, and then 1, 4 for 2 strings. Now, the trick is we're going to connect going up the first scale and down the second one. So we have to learn the second position, and then we have to connect them where we can ascend and then descend. So the second position starts on the 4th fret in the key of F. Marilee says, recording yourself is a reality check. Just when you thought you were getting pretty good, you record yourself and yikes. Yeah, that's that. Wow, Jim is buying the microphones, you guys. The Rode NT1 SM7, that's great. Sennheiser. So the Sennheiser 609 is like the hangover amp. That's when I keep in my guitar bag for when places don't have a mic. Those are great, man. So you're going to play out. Jim's playing out. Watch out, folks. So we've got 4, 6, then 3, 6, 3, 6, 3, 5, 4, 6, 4, 6. And you can use I'm using fingering here where I use my 2nd and 4th. That's tough for a lot of people in the beginning. You can try using your 1st and 3rd. And then when you move to 3, 6, you can use 1st and 3rd, 1st and 4th. 3, 5, 4, 6, 4, 6. So try that with me again. 4, 6, 3, 6, 3, 6, 3, 5, 4, 6, 4, 6. Do that one more time. 4, 6, 3, 6, 3, 6, 3, 5, 4, 6, 4, 6. So what we're getting ready to do is go up the first position, come down the second one. And then we're going to go up the third one and come down the next one. But we start with those 2 first. So I'm just walking you through it step by step. All right, so let's go up the first position and up the second position. and then we'll work on going up and then down. Up the first position, 1 4 1 3 1 3 1 3 1 4 1 4. Now we're going up the second position, so that's 4 6 3 6 3 6 3 5 4 6 4 6. Now, if you've got those two positions down, you're ready to do the ascend descend pattern. So people can throw beer bottles. Jim, where are you thinking about playing? Are you thinking about playing at an open mic, or you have like a gig coming up? This is kind of exciting. So let's go up the first position, down the second one. 1 4 1 3 1 3 1 3 1 4 1 4. Now we're going to come down 6 4 6 4 5 4 6 3 6 3 6 4. Let's do that again. 1 4 1 3 1 3 1 3 1 4 1 4 6 4 6 4 5 3 6 3 6 3 6 4. So just connecting those two. Really slow and evenly first. So dive bars has got to be the best place to play. You know why? Because you can play Molly Hatchet, and you can play I don't know. You can play whatever you want, pretty much. Dive bars are great. I like doing I always love to play Southern Rock. I never get to play Southern Rock in LA, and I grew up playing a lot of Southern Rock, surprisingly, in Oakland. I know. But you never know. And we used to play 38 Special, Molly Hatchet. Grew up playing with a bunch of older guys. So dive bars, you can usually play a little bit of that. And every time I go home, I get a solid taste too. That's what we should do. We should go over the solo to Sweet Home Alabama, like the first solo exactly as it's played, because it's really tricky. Or I Know Little would be another great one to do. Everybody know I Know Little? Diddle-a-da-da, diddle-a-da-da. All right, so does that help you guys at all? Have you ever tried connecting those pentatonic positions like that? Because that's what I would do with all 5 positions and then connect it evenly. And there's a really great video that I posted a while back about working on the cage system, just a clean step-by-step pattern of how to connect each one of those shapes. So that's another, as long as you get the system down, the rest of it is pretty much basic. Yeah, we should try that. Let's try it right now. Who has their guitar handy? I know John's probably playing guitar. Woof. There we go. So the first step is to playing through the cage system. Steve Gaines, man, Steve Gaines, what a loss, right? Oh, of course now, I mean, everybody in most of these bands are. All right, so you got to know open C, open A, open G, open E, and open D. Sorry, I got to tune this. Just for your guys' sake. Okay, so you got to know, still C, open A, open G, open E, and open D. Good. Now, if we build those up the neck, we need to know where each C root is at. So we have C on the 5th string, C on the 6th string, and C on the 4th string. Because we're going to build C in each position. The A position of C, the G position of C, the E position of C, and the D position of C. Okay? So everybody, let's try connecting just the first one. That's regular open C and the A position of C. Open C, the A position of C. Marilee says, I can connect the shapes like crazy in practice, but in front of others I freeze and forget what box I'm in. Is that for the FOH. Is that with the pentatonic scale, Marilee? You know what you might do is if you find like a practice track you can work with on that. So if you're doing the key of F, there might not be a ton of practice. You can probably look up a practice track in the key of F. But if you find one, let's say it's all right, how about that? So you find a track online, like a backing track, and then you just practice playing them over the track so that you're kind of locked into some sort of rhythmic pattern. Because most of the time when you have trouble playing it in front of other people, it's going to be related to being able to fall back on the time of it. It's usually always a timing related thing. So if the timing of it's locked in, it's almost like having your heartbeat locked in. Like you're so relaxed that your heartbeat never gets above a certain level. When you've just spent so much time working on it with the metronome, you really kind of fall back on the skills of locking it into a beat. And so it stays gridlocked when you try to play it in front of people. I don't know if that makes sense. So more and more and more and more time with the metronome is really going to be the trick to performing well in front of other people, because you fall back on the skill of being on a grid. Yeah. Okay, so C, the A version of C. Now, a lot of people get stuck on this G version of C, right? You don't have to play the whole chord, and rarely would anybody do this. So all you need to do is be able to see this and then just play the bottom part of it, because that's really all anybody's going to play generally. But if you can see that shape, that full C, this is C on the 6-string root, the G version of C, there's the bottom of the chord. So connecting one at a time, you have C open, the A version of C. The first step is give yourself 4 beats for each switch. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And notice that I'm using like a hinge bar for my A version of C. Let's say you have a acoustic guitar or a classical guitar at home. You may have to do this version or some variation on that version, which means it's going to take you a little bit longer to nail this switch down, right? But really slowing down and just connecting those, you can make it 8 beats or 6 beats in between each one. Okay, then once you can do that, let's take it down to 2 beats. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then 1 beat. And if you can't get there, don't worry about it. Stick at 4 beats or 2 beats. Same thing with the next position. So you have the A version of C. There's the A shape connected to the G version of C. And I'm not making the full one just because you don't have to. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. Same thing here and. The E version of C at the 8th fret to this tricky D version of C. Now, you need to be able to see that C on the 4th string to connect this, but you don't actually have to make it. You can just move up and play this. Does everybody know the song oh, sorry. So notice this right here is what? Does anybody know which chord this is? It's the D version of something. If you see the root there, you'll know it's... Which one is that? That's right. It's the G version. So it's the D version of G. But notice he's not playing the root. He's actually playing it like there's like a D ringing out the whole time. So that's a great example of where that's used, but it doesn't have the root in the bass. So when we're going from this E version of C to the D version of C, if you want to try to get that root in there, you can, or you can just worry about this, because that's really what you're going to be using. Damn straight, Greg, that's Bad Company. Paul, what's Paul's last name? Paul something. God, that guy could sing. And Free and all that. Man, he probably still can sing. Okay, so the E version of C, the D version of C. Connecting those. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So generally when people have trouble with this, they just have to do each position for a longer period of time to really nail it down. But it's super doable. And then when you go to play songs like, it's going to be a lot easier because you have a lot of familiarity with these shapes. So, yeah. Paul Rogers, thank you. Greg, you're an almanac. You're an almanac, sir. All right, so what else is going on? What else have you guys been working on? I was talking to Eugene. Oh, what was it? I think it was on Saturday. We were talking about a couple ideas for a new show. We want to keep doing like the best cover band songs of decades, but we want to keep it by genre still. So we haven't done the best country songs of the 80s, the best country songs of the 70s. And we could even nail that down a little bit further into like which style of country. The same thing is, so we were thinking about doing it with some pretty like cheesy genres like adult contemporary or like just so you get a little Air Supply in there, you know. Otherwise, how do you ever get to cover any Air Supply? You don't. And then you know, then we lose out basically. But yeah, so if we did some of the best cover songs of the 70s, we did adult contemporary, we could get some ABBA in there. We could get some disco in there too. That was the other idea. But the other one was I want to do a deep dive on Alice in Chains, the album, the acoustic album, if you guys are familiar with that, Jar of Flies. I don't know if everybody's hip to that album or not. I don't think Eugene probably knows about that album at all, actually. But it's just such a great... It's not an album, it's actually an EP. It only has 5 songs on it. But it would be really, really fun for the junior high school Dylan if we covered... you guys may know it's like Nutshell and I Stay Away. That's got a bunch of strings in it. All the songs that on that album are super great. So we want to cover a little bit more grunge, even though, you know, the grunge stuff is pretty popular when we cover it. But it just seems so necessary considering grunge is classic rock. I remember when Van Halen was classic rock when I was in my 20s all of a sudden, and now grunge is classic rock. Yeah, so I think outlaw country, because we did that show on the 5 best outlaw country songs, Greg. I think we could work through outlaw country by decade. Well, really, it's going to be mostly in the 70s though, so we just need to cover more of it, 70s and 80s. But we didn't get deep on any of the Merle Haggard stuff. That like when Merle got even edgier. It's Been a Long Way and some of those other ones. Those would be really great to cover. And then the Bakersfield stuff I think wouldn't be a stretch for Eugene at all. So Mel McDaniel's, like there's a whole bunch of country that we haven't even covered it at all because there's still a lot of remnants over from the Fender show where we were talking about really mainstream stuff. So we could get a little bit further out there. Yeah, I think so. The Alice in Chains EP, it's really more of like you may recognize the songs though, Jim, when you hear them. It's really more of I guess maybe you guys are. So what's the music you remember the most? I guess because this stuff came out when I was in elementary school. But back then you just everything didn't change quite as much, so you listen to whatever tapes your brother had, you know. The other one would be I think it'd be fun to cover some Stone Temple Pilots stuff. Really dig into like Dean's guitar tone, their guitar technique. Like everybody learns Plush. But these are like some really interesting chord progressions. So talking about some of the ways that they came up with that and the ways that I just watched a whole documentary on the recording of that album. So I think that one would be really fun. And then I'm always pushing for a little bit more metal with Eugene. I still think it'd be fun to do a hair metal period, a glam metal period. And you can imagine the conversations with Eugene while I talk about this, right? Like there's silence on the other side of the phone. Meryl says, I remember seeing Alice in Chains in Spokane before anybody knew who they were. Wow. They were opening for a bunch of 80s hair bands, and we thought they were laughably bad. Who knew? They probably were. No, I bet they were. Yeah. What was your favorite 80s hair metal? So this will be good. This is good. Jim says, I'm a child of the 70s and 80s and early to mid 90s with a whole lot of 50s and 60s mixed in, plus a ton of contemporary rock. Yeah, so I think that's and jazz, baby. I think that's kind of where I am too, for the most part. Look, that's the music everybody's going to remember. Greg, you're going to see STP. Where are they playing at? Or who? Wait a minute. How are they playing without Scott Weiland? Somebody else is singing. I wonder if. Anyways, so I wanted to cover that. So if you guys have any hair metal recommendations, let me know. We've done some hair metal stuff. We have not even brushed the surface of my hair metal knowledge. And it's not so much that I know about the stories of the hair metal. That's where we get in trouble. I know those songs. I don't know, like, why the guy from the Scorpions got a tattoo on his leg. I don't know any of that. So it doesn't always make for the most interesting thing. I have to basically work with Eugene to learn some history on that. And then the other big one was I would love to cover Pantera. I know that, not everybody wants to hear about Pantera, but Dylan does. Dylan loves Pantera. Kearney, Nebraska. Wow, that's awesome, man. I wonder who's going to sing for them. I mean, they may as well, It's like they have so many great. So we, getting back to the genre thing. If we did a little bit of 90s metal, I think that would be awesome. And then probably handle just a little bit more of deep dive into kind of siloed areas of country, because we've done a lot of kind of brushing around different country over the years, but I'd love to go deep on country. Tom says, I got to see Van Halen play when they opened for Black Sabbath, and they were just about or just released their first. Wow. Man, that's wild. That first album is just... So, Darren, yes. The answer is yes. It's an immediate yes. I didn't have to think about the Iron Maiden question. The answer was yes. It will always be yes. No, that would be really fun, actually. So it'd be fun to teach Eugene an Iron Maiden song live, because I don't think he knows any. Yeah. So anyways, man, you know what song we should do? Which album is Hot for Teacher off of? We should definitely do that one. You saw Van Halen open for Eddie Money? I would guess that Eddie Money got his money out of that, because having played a little bit with Eddie Money, I could tell you they ain't no Van Halen. That must have been a long time ago, Marilee. Gosh. So anyways, all right, so I've got Iron Greg says, more outlaw country, more Bakersfield country. I don't think we've ever done a Bakersfield country episode. Yeah, 1984. John, excellent. Although I do love Eddie Money, by the way, like a lot, Marilee. I love Eddie Money. Yeah. Yeah, just because, I mean, Eddie Van Halen was to rock guitar, what Michael Jackson was to pop. And, of course, there's their collaboration of Eddie Van Halen, Michael Jackson. But, I mean, just, I can't think of, and these guys back at that point in time, they made their guitars, they modded their own amps, they made their own guitar pedals. Everything was custom. Everything was a one-off. It was the opposite of music now, where, you are trying to create the most doppelganger version of a hit so that you can potentially also have a hit. I mean, these guys were completely just originals, and so much so that also when you think about the risk, we could have just as easily never heard about Eddie Van Halen if you think about it. I mean, somebody who plays guitar in kind of a radical way, makes his own amps, has kind of a radical guitar tone. That could have just as easily been somebody we never heard about. So I think when you're a musician and you take that level of risk, realizing like you're deviating so far from the norm, you may not get any traction. We're almost, as listeners, I almost think we buy that part of the artist. We buy the risk part of the artist, And of course, a lot of these guys and gals ended up being addicts, because that same level of risk taking, you can't contain it within one area of your life. It's going to extend to every area of your life. The stories about, Van Halen parties are absolutely just amazing. They're crazy. The stories about Pantera parties are amazing. But I mean, that continued on. I just think Van Halen is easily as influential as Jimi Hendrix in terms of epochs of guitar. And so, whatever that's worth. But it's also really hard to sound just like Van Halen. It's really hard to cop every aspect of Van Halen's playing, because he wasn't a conventional guitar player in the sense that some of the stuff that Van Halen was known for, it wasn't even a scale. They used to call it, or when I was a kid, they called it Van Halen sequence, right? So it was just a shape. So it's not actually a scale. So when you didn't have tab and you're just learning everything by ear back in the day, you would hear somebody, let's see, and it was like, what the hell was that? And then you can't really find the scale equivalent to that. He did play scales as well, obviously, but a lot of these shapes were difficult to try to figure out. And then there was the size of some of these shapes. So when you're looking at the solo to Beat It. So all of this first part, none of that is too tough, but when we get to if you can either tap that or you have to play it with this absolutely colossal shape. And that is going to be really tricky to try to get down for the overwhelming general public, right? And we also, at the time, the only way to know whether somebody tapped something or played it by fingers was to go watch them play, or would pass along via people that had gone to watch them play. But there's a lot more like mysteriousness about how things were done. Man, Motley Crue would be so awesome. Dr. Feelgood would be great to cover. I would love to do that one. Girls, Girls, Girls. So that would be great too, actually. I also think we should do Rock of Ages, like an ode to the entire Rock of Ages album, the Def Leppard album. Because there's a lot of really hip guitarisms that are on that album. All right. Yeah, so because we just haven't even scratched the surface on all that, especially the earlier 80s stuff. I don't know if any of that, Eugene digs that stuff. It's not necessarily in his wheelhouse, but he likes it. It's not like he doesn't like it. And every time we cover one of those, I think he gets a lot out of it. So, all right, so I got to make a note of this. So we've got Outlaw Country. Greg, you also said Bakersfield, Motley Crue, Iron Maiden for Darren and Dylan. And then we've got I Want to Do STP, Alice in Chains. And was there somebody else you guys mentioned? Air Supply, obviously. I don't see how we can do it without Air Supply. says I found out about. Wow. Ooh, White Lion. White Lion. Hey, Winger. Now listen, Marilee. You're speaking close to my heart right now. The Winger stuff is not a joke. Reb Beach is not to be played with. Thank you, Pantera. Dimebag, may he rest in peace. Yeah, I saw sparks fly. That's she's only 17. 17. These just the guitar riff is like a solo, right? These guys are badass. Don't know what you got till it's gone. White Lion. We could cover kicks. No kicks. We're not doing any kicks, and we're not doing any Striper. And that's a hard and fast rule, you guys. Okay. The Trooper. Oh man, that would be awesome because we've been talking about guitar harmonies, so that would be so much fun. Okay. So, all right, this is good. So I've got Motley Crue, STP, Iron Maiden, Bakersfield. We're gonna have to smash White Lion, Winger, and Cinderella into a single episode for and we'll put Autograph in there. We'll put no kicks. Remember, no kicks, no Striper. We'll put Pantera gets its own episode. I want to really connect Eugene to the depths of Pantera, like the epochs of Pantera, if you will. Definitely no AC/DC. Oh no, we should do some AC/DC for sure. The host. And then it says the White Lion guitarist forgot his name. Yeah, no, seriously, fantastic. I suppose we could do White Snake. At least one or two White Snake songs are. Yeah, Billy Idol would be really fun too. Steve Smith, that'd be badass, man. We've got Def Leppard, Rock of Ages album. We do all the Def Leppard. I know it's a touchy subject to talk about Def Leppard, but nothing where there's too much. Greg, we could definitely do Twisted Sister. You've got the right to do. And Sister Christian, Night Ranger. Okay, we got a lot of ideas here. I'm thinking I really want to start potentially with Pantera, just because I think Eugene needs Pantera exposure. Judas Priest would be. The G host, you're making great recommendations. You know that? That's a fantastic recommendation. All you need is rock and roll. Yeah, man, John. So that's the deal. If I can get Eugene to put on somebody else's hair. I have a story for you guys before we go. So I tried to do, first of all, back in the Fender Play Live days, we were doing Halloween episodes, and I showed up in a full-on ZZ Top outfit. I mean, everything. I had the whole thing. And they kiboshed it. They said absolutely not. And I was like, well, what's going to happen? And I think they were afraid that it would offend ZZ Top. And I think ZZ Top would have been flattered, personally. Then they did let me do a full-on wig and do an 80s hair metal show at one point. They went back and forth, but finally they let me do it. And I think that me and Eugene in full wigged out fashion doing All You Need Is Rock and Roll, Sister Christian, and a few other of these, it might be compulsory. I don't know if we should go on without doing that, to be honest with you. Darren says Priest would be another. Yeah, I think Priest, just the significance of Priest guitar tone-wise, too. All the connections to Ritchie Blackmore and the chorus and all the stuff that carried over, all the layering that they did. There's a lot of, even for people that don't connect Judas Priest to like guitar wizardry, which I do. It's just that I think there's also a huge tone part of that too, and smell the glove. All right, you guys, we got a lot of suggestions. I'm going to talk to Eugene. We're going to get into the woodshed there, and I'm leaning towards a little Pantera action, but this 80s hair metal thing is catching to it. F the mothership. I love it. Oh, man, that would be amazing. Honestly, I don't know where Eugene is at with Funkadelic either. I don't think we've ever even talked about it. I'm sure he's obviously hip to it, but yeah, I don't think we've ever done it. That would be really fun. Okay, so I'm leaning towards another 80s hair metal episode, and I have evidence here, right? I'm also thinking that the Trooper is a great recommendation, Darren, because we want to do a guitar harmonies, I think is maybe how you say it. We want to do one of those episodes, and so the Trooper's a great example. We've already done Jessica, so you can't. How many times can you do the Jessica thing to death? So I think the Trooper's the natural next move, and then man, it would be awesome to do some Funkadelic stuff. I love all of that playing because it just, you have to be a drum set when you're playing that stuff, and you can literally carry a whole band by yourself. The same thing would be the guitar parts of Michael Jackson's song. So the all of that would be really fun to run through, as well as the yeah, man, that would be awesome. Yeah, and maybe that might be a good plan, is just to start at James Brown and work your way out from there, because that's kind of where all these styles started at. I wonder if that might be where Eugene wants to start. We should text Eugene right now. Hang on, you guys. Let's see. The crowd wants to know. Hair metal or James Funk guitar. Okay, let's see what he says. Yeah. All right. Hey, you guys, have a great night. Give me an O for office hours on the way out. And if you can, try to like this. And if you're not subscribed, please do, because we're trying to build our audience and move this thing into the next dimension, become corporate, and then destroy the whole thing. No, I'm just joking. We're not going to become corporate. But if you can, like it, and we'll be posting some more clips, and then we'll see you guys for the... Oh, Eugene, you guys. Can you see this? Eugene says hair metal. Okay. All right, hair metal it is. Okay, so we got our answer. So we're starting with hair metal. So, yeah, if you guys can, give me an on the way out the door, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys for the show on Wednesday. And until then, don't be a stranger, and we hope to see you again soon. And if you can, support us on Patreon, but whatever you can do is great. Just keep showing up, and we'll keep trying to do fun stuff for you, okay? All right, Darren. All right, Greg, Jim, John, Marilee, the G host. Great to see you, by the way. Tom, great to see you. Everybody, you guys have a great night. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you again soon, okay? Get out the door for office hours. Thank you so much. Thanks, guys.